One night, something happened that I'll always remember. My friends and I had been looking forward to a camping trip in the deep woods for a long time. We wanted to leave the busy city life behind and spend time in nature. We took our camping equipment and went into the thick forest, ready to see how well we could survive on our own. The deeper we went, the trees became taller and the plants thicker. It got colder, and everything was very quiet. We made our camp in a little open space surrounded by big evergreen trees. When it got dark, we sat close to our campfire to keep warm. The fire made noises and shadows danced on the trees. We tried to scare each other with ghost stories and laughed, but we were also a bit scared. As the night went on, it felt like the shadows were getting bigger and scarier. I woke up later because I heard something moving in the bushes. At first, I thought it was just a small animal, but then the noise got closer. I was scared and looked around. All my friends were sleeping and didn't know there was something dangerous nearby. I tried to wake them up, but they didn't really wake up. I didn't know what to do. The noise got louder and I felt like something was watching me. I got very cold when I realized we weren't alone. Then, out of the dark, I saw something with shining eyes. My friends were still sleeping and I couldn't move because I was so scared. This thing started walking around our camp, looking right at me. I was the only one who could see it, and I had to protect us. I picked up a stick to defend us. The thing laughed in a scary way and came closer. I knew I had to act quickly. Right before the thing jumped at us, I remembered a trick from a survival class. I set some dry leaves on fire and threw them on the ground. The smoke made the thing go away. My friends woke up, confused but safe. We quickly packed up and left the campsite. We didn't stop until we were back in our cars. We never talked about that night again, but I can't forget the scary thing in the woods. I don't think I'll ever go camping again. On a very stormy evening, our school took us to visit an old empty mansion at the edge of our town. We were a group of excited 8th graders, and we couldn't wait to see the inside of this spooky and secret-filled mansion. When we got there, it was raining hard, and the wind was making scary noises, which made it feel like we were in a ghost story. Our teacher, Ms. Johnson, quickly told us what we should and shouldn't do, and reminded us to stay together and not go off by ourselves. But we were too thrilled to really pay attention. As soon as we walked into the mansion, we heard the floors making creaking sounds and whispers that seemed to come from far away. It was a bit scary, but we thought we were just imagining things. We decided to split into smaller groups to look around the mansion. I was with my friends, Sarah and Mark, when we found a door that was locked. Mark, who always wants to know more, thought we should try to open it. We tried hard to open the door, and suddenly, with a loud noise, it opened by itself. We were scared, but also wanted to see what was inside. We saw a room full of old dolls that looked like they were watching us. We quickly shut the door and ran to find our other friends because we didn't want to be alone. But as we tried to get back, we got lost. The mansion didn't look the same anymore, and the rooms we thought we knew looked different. We started hearing strange laughter and footsteps from everywhere, and we realized we weren't the only ones in the mansion. The weather outside got even worse, and then all the lights went out, and we were in the dark. We yelled for help, but it seemed like no one could hear us. Then, all of a sudden, the lights came back on, and we were at the front of the mansion, safe, but very scared. Ms. Johnson was looking for us, worried. We told her about everything we heard and saw. She laughed a little and said it was all in our minds and told us to get on the bus. But we knew that what we went through was real, and we decided never to go back to that mansion. After that day, we learned that some stories should be kept secret, and some places should be left alone. That night at the mansion is something we'll always remember. After I got out of the broken plane, I felt the hot sun on my face. I was on a beach with lots of sand, and it seemed to go on forever. I was the only one who survived the plane crash, and that made me feel really scared. I needed to find a place to stay safe. The plane was in pieces, and all I had was my clothes and a small first aid kit. I looked around to see if there were any houses or people, but all I could see was the ocean and the sand. Days went by, and I made a routine for myself. During the day, I looked for food and things I might need. At night, I stayed in a shelter I made, listening to the sounds of the island. At first, the noises made me nervous. The wind, the sea, and the sounds of animals I couldn't see. But after a while, I got used to them. On the fourth day, I saw something. There was a person at the edge of the trees, watching me. I stopped moving because I was so scared. The person started coming towards me slowly. I didn't move, and I held onto a knife I found in the first aid kit. When the person got closer, I saw it was a tall, thin woman. She looked like she hadn't eaten in a long time, and her eyes were deep in her face. Her skin was white and looked sick, and she had a dress on that was old and dirty. She said in a quiet, rough voice, "Hello, my name is Emily. I've been waiting for you." I tried to talk, but I was too scared to say anything. Emily smiled in a way that made me feel more scared. She said, "I've been here a long time, waiting for someone to be with me. And now you're here, you won't be alone anymore." She touched my face, and her skin was cold and wet. I wanted to get away from her, but she was holding me too tightly. "You're going to stay here with me forever," she said. Then she pulled me into the trees, and no one ever saw me again.